is on your shining supreme station, Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It's 1 minute gone past 9 a.m. Good morning and thank you for joining us on today's edition of News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilorin, where we bring you the trending stories across the globe. My name is Mekamua. Osigbodi. Here are the stories making waves across the world. The All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Council has given approval for the Tinubu-Shetima Presidential Campaign rally scheduled for today, January 17, 2023 in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The Presidential Campaign Council gave the approval for the rally to be held as scheduled at 10 today, following reports that the majority of APC members and supporters across the country have arrived in Ilorin, the state capital. The local organizing committee assures all APC members and supporters that all arrangements are intact to have a successful rally. In Osun, a state high court sitting in Osogbo on Monday sentenced 4 men to death by hanging for offences bordering on armed robbery and murder. One Victor Akimbile, said to be a relative of the immediate past Osun State Deputy Governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi. The convict, Ahmed Rafiu, 37, Rashidi Waidi, 39, Kayode Sunday, 29, and Owolabi Bashiru, 54, were first arraigned before Justice Jide Falola on October 23, 2019, on 6 counts of armed robbery and murder. Justice Falola held that the cash recovered from the convicts and the cash in their bank accounts should be handed over to the widow of the deceased. And straight to the international scene, where London's High Court has granted permission to a group of asylum seekers to appeal against a ruling that Britain's plan to send migrants to Rwanda is lawful. 2 High Court judges ruled in December that the controversial policy is legal, rejecting the lawsuit from several asylum seekers, aid groups, and a border officials union. The same judges said on Monday that the claimants can challenge that decision on issues including whether the plan is systematically unfair and whether asylum seekers would be safe in Rwanda. And straight to the exciting world of sport, where Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has insisted that he would not resign from the position. Klopp's men are struggling for form this season and have already lost 6 times in the Premier League. The Reds were only beaten 4 times in 63 matches in all competitions last season. Klopp, while speaking ahead of a FA Cup replay against Wolves scheduled for today, said he will remain as manager for as long as he wanted. Well, that's all we have for you on this edition of News Punch. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we bring you analysis of the stories. Do stay tuned.
From news to sports, current affairs to entertainment, beautiful music, amazing programs, we got you all covered at Diamond 88.7 FM.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Why not kill us for Nigeria? Oh, please, help us back them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold in the means? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice the new democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people. From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
Country, Nigeria. We have lots of conversations today, and so we get straight into the analysis of some of the major stories from the week. Trust you're having a fantastic day. It's the 17th of January 2023 on your shining supreme station, Diamond 88.7 FM. My name is Mekamua Osigbodi. Now, to do this with me this morning is an educationist, a public affairs analyst, and the lead strategist for NIWOSEC. I have with me in the studio Dr. David Hindero. Good morning, Dr. David.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. It's such a delight to have you in the studio. And also in the studio with me is Mr. Abdulkadir Bolaji Ibrahim, who is the head of unit Public Affairs and Protocol, INEC Choir. Good morning, sir. It's great to have you in the studio this morning.
Good morning, Diamond FM, and good morning, listener.
All right. Like I like to ask before we get into the conversation, and I'll throw these questions to the both of you. I mean, we have a few weeks to the elections. How are you bracing up for the coming elections? I'll start with Dr. David.
Yeah, personally, getting set. I'm going to cast my vote, and I'm going to be one of the observers. I'm going to monitor around the corners, and I think generally we are prepared. I only have some little fears here and there,
which we'll talk about in our conversation.
Which we are going to talk about, because I have been mandated. I will definitely go to some villages. How am I sure those villages are safe?
All right. Right, Mr. Abdulkadir.
Thank you very much. On the part of the Commission, INEC are fully prepared. Right. If you look at it, we have 38 days to election. And when you look at our schedule of activities, at least we've executed a lot of program activities. So remain just few, 2 or 3.
All right, then let's get straight into the conversation. Bear in mind that we're live on Facebook at Diamond 887 FM. Be sure to drop a comment in the comment section to be a part of the conversation. And also on YouTube, Diamond FM Ilorin. Join us in the conversation by dropping a comment, and also do well to share the live feeds on social media. You could also send a message via the WhatsApp platform 0913 655 6864. Just before the end of the program, we'll be sure to open up the phone line so you could call in to be a part of the conversation. Now, for the first story for today, by now we thought that attacks will stop in the new year, but it looks like it's a recurring issue. The conversation is now getting intense. An average Nigerian would wonder why certain groups with unannounced objects will continue to attack the Commission facilities when it does not look like the Commission harbors money or other prized valuables. I'm talking about INEC offices. Now, accusing fingers have been pointed out. Some politicians feel other politicians are the main cause of constant attacks. The Imo State Governor, for example, Hope Uzodinma, last year made this claim. Let's listen to what Hope Uzodinma had to say.
With events of the past, where I have continuously said that what is happening in Imo State is politically contrived. Some people who think that they can win election, yet they don't want election. How would they then win? INEC does not need this distraction at this point and stage of our elections.
Of Kwara State, Malam Abdurrahman Abdurrazak called for more robust security architecture to address the fear insecurity looks to cause in getting things right during the election. Also, here's Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak.
Your destinations the main essence surrounding the election is for us to have robust security architecture and a peaceful environment to conduct the election. The President has assured the nation of peace and security during the
Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has expressed concerns over the forthcoming general election due to the rising threats of insecurity, warning that the forthcoming polls face threats of cancellation if the level of insecurity across the country continues. INEC chairman confirmed last year that the commission has witnessed more than 50 attacks since 2019. We have another addition from the one that happened yesterday in Enugu. Now, arrests have been made post all the incident, and yet no revelation or links were made to address the issues. The conversation on the DBS today focuses on the attacks and its threat to the general election. But just before we go into in-depth analysis, I'll start with you, Dr. David Aingero. What are your thoughts about the current ongoing concerning security in the nation and the forthcoming election?
Yeah, it's frightful and very, very unfortunate that Nigerians are faced with this situation when we don't even know, because this is just a test, or they are testing the water as per this insecurity of the INEC materials and officers, and even anybody that has to do with the election. Hope Uzodinma just said that some people wants to win election and they don't want the election to hold. He's a politician. He knows what he's talking about. He knows the value of. He knows why they are doing this. And unfortunately, most of these politicians will speak on the surface and they will not go to the deep. If you know who is doing this, then why not present the person to the police? Fortunately, the people that know the value of gold, those are the people that goes for gold. When you see gold, you know the value. Those people that know the value of this election and the PVCs and the materials that INEC, they are not happy with the level of preparation of INEC. INEC is sincerely prepared. Over 500 billion has been spent on this election. We need to give thanks to Mr. President and to the preparation of INEC. But politicians are not comfortable. You will discover that APC chairman the other day said we should not use PVC beavers. Politicians are already agitative. The usual culture of having this election and maneuvering things may not surface because of the litmus test that has happened in Ekiti and Osigbodi. So they are not comfortable. Politicians have their games that they are playing, and they feel that if this election is allowed to go this way, it may not go their way as usual. So they want to attack, harass, and maneuver as much as possible.
Now, just like you're saying, some people believe that this is an opportunity for the current administration to extend its stay in government. But contrary to all of this thought, the president has continuously and consistently assured us that he's promising us a free and fair election. Now, these are opposing opinions.
I think from the president's perspective, I'm not seeing somebody that is desperate to stay behind. And I think even within his party, some people want to take over. The only thing they want to scare the INEC officers and ensure that some politicians that have a comparative advantage in certain area, they want to deprive their people from voting. If they can deprive people from voting from certain area, that's their opponent, it will be better for them. So that there will be no vote there, and the ones available in their own area where they think they have comparative advantage, they will have advantage over others. So that is why INEC offices have become the target of all. What are they targeting in INEC offices? Those materials to go. Ensuring that people don't have opportunity of collecting PVC. Because they have seen the power that PVC seems to carry now. That vote seems to, it's like vote is going to count now. It wasn't counting before. And they saw the level at which people want to vote in Nigeria now. It's particularly young people. So they are not comfortable with it. So if possible, if they can harass INEC people and gag them out of this system, or particularly in states or local government where they know they want to target, it's going to be better for them. That's what they think. So the whole game is the game of politicians. It's because they are the ones that know the value of this election. They are the ones that want to ensure that this election did not either hold or ensure that it doesn't hold in some places, so that they will leave their area where they have comparative advantage to reign. So unfortunately, we have to ask the police people to really wake up to their responsibility.
Now, just before we go more into the part of the security agencies, I'll throw the next question to Mr. Abdulkadir. Now, how much of a threat is insecurity to the coming election?
Thank you very much. I think you've said it all. The way the facility of INEC has been attacked in recent days, like you mentioned that the chairman said over 50 facilities has been attacked in INEC facility has been attacked. Now you play us the voice of Governor Oposodima, who says that some politicians are trying to disrupt the election so that the general election won't come up. And if you look at this attack, you will discover that majority of the facility attack happens in Imo. That is why you have the insight of what is really happening. I believe the politicians, they are trying to disrupt the election so that it won't hold. But looking at the threat to INEC, on our own part, we've prepared and we are ready to conduct the 2023 general election. Because any time we prepare for election, we always engage the security personnel, you understand? And that's why we have a committee that has to do with the security, all the security chiefs in the state, including the Honorable Resident Electoral Commissioner. And that committee is being chaired by the commissioner in the state and the CP. They co-chair the committee. The committee is called Access. So they meet they meet almost all the time. Often, you understand. So and recently, they will meet this week, before the end of this week, the Access meeting. We are going to hold Access meeting soon. So and they will discuss the security apparatus on how they can cope all these insurgencies or the attacks on the facility and have a fair election where we won't have all these molestation or attack on the people who comes out to vote. And I believe in Kwara State is so peaceful, and we are much prepared with the help of the security apparatus in the state. So we are fully prepared in Kwara State.
Now, Dr. David Ayindero. Now, I was listening to a security expert speak on the current challenges that we face about insecurity and INEC offices. And we made mention of the fact that one of the problems that we have is the fact that the expectations that INEC have on the security officials are vague. There is no solid decision on what they actually want the security officials to do for them. Do you subscribe to this fact?
Yeah. I think the matter of security is not about securing during election alone. It's securing the whole Nigeria pre-election, election and post-election. And what we are saying in essence is that let security agents do their job by ensuring that Nigerians are secured. It's not just for election purposes alone. So if we say you have to secure us during the election, we want you to face the election, what happens to after election? Catch the criminals before election. The potential criminals, put them somewhere before the election comes, so that they will not have anything to do during the election. And most of these criminals are followers of politicians. They are around their corners. When you see their vehicles moving, you see they have special vehicles for them. When you go to their houses, they have places for them where they do their various, their different nefarious activities. So the job of police and other security agents should not just be targeted towards election alone. Let Nigeria be secured, because there's this psychological trauma that electorate and even INEC officers are going through. If you ask them to go for it, I just told you about mine. I'm going to be an observer, right. And I just told you about mine, that I'm still thinking. I have duties. I'm not going to be within the Ilorin Metropolis alone. I'm going to go into other places. Am I prepared for this? Am I sure the whole place is safe? And that is the essence. That's what police officers, even the police officers, are also thinking. The INEC officers, as you are looking at them, they are also thinking that, are they safe? The presiding officers and the agents, they are also thinking, because the fact remains that the issues of bandits are still everywhere. They are still kidnapping people. Criminals are still working here and there. So anybody, we should have a safety psychologically, so that we can be properly prepared for this election, not just wait for until that moment when election comes. That's where we'll beef up security. Beef it up from now. Let the whole place be safe. Let everybody be safe. look for criminals where their hideout is. As long as they are still in Nigeria, wherever they find you think they are, make sure you accost them. We have to be proactive in security activities. I'm not an expert in security, but I believe that the police still need to do more by being proactive, not waiting for things to happen before you begin to issue statements as they used to issue it. So I will not subscribe to the fact that the police people the INEC does not know what they want. They know what they want. Protect our materials, protect our headquarters and our staff, protect everybody that is going to work around us. And come to think about it, do you have insurance for these people? Are they insured? If you ask the INEC officer here, are you insured for your duties? Is the police people insured?
I mean,
are the journalists insured?
We have an INEC official here. How about
even him? Ask him if he's insured.
What I will talk about is, let me talk about proactiveness that I talk about. I think I will subscribe to what Doctor said, because in 2019 election, I could remember that our honorable rec in Kwara State, that's the person of Malam Garba Atairu Madami, is a very proactive man. Before the election, he has to call on the security the NDLA, that they should pick up those people that smoke, that they are drug inducer, you understand, and keep them before the election. So they were kept before the election. Immediately after the election, they released them. So the politicians were looking for them around. Where are these people that we normally use? You can see the initiative of the REC, and I believe we will still come up with another very proactive measure to cope what we are envisaging or what we are looking at in 2023. So now you talk about we are fearing another. I think I will give kudos to Commissioner of Police in Kwara State, that's the person of Mr. Paul Odama. Since he resumed in Kwara State, he has visited our office about 4 times. You understand? In fact, anytime he heard that there was an attack somewhere, he's coming to our office. And the last time the IG, I think IG zone 2 or zone A or zone 8 there about, that's the Asafa, he came around with him to our office. They inspect the facility around, and they make sure they beef up the security around our offices. You understand? When you go to our office now, you met police. Even before you go in, around the premises, you see police everywhere. So our offices are fully secure. So I think
are you insured?
Yes. No, I don't want to cover that.
Okay. because the truth is that if you are not insured to go for national services, for national service like this, are you sure you have doubts if your family will be safe or will be taken care of after, in case? That is to say, is this risk worth taking? Is it worth taking? And I must tell you, I have done my research. Most people that are involved in this election are having fears, even including the coppers that they want to use. All the coppers are also having fears. The parents are also having fears. So let the police people ensure that Nigeria is safe. We know criminals. We know political criminals. We know them. I just told you some of their hideouts, where you find them. Go to police, the politicians' houses. They are the leftover young people that are jobless, and they are vulnerable to being used for political purposes. They are still there. They go around with them in campaign period. They smoke. We know them. We know economic thieves in Nigeria. Those people that suddenly became rich, haven't held government offices. You see them displaying affluence. We know them. We know everybody. We know ourselves. So the only problem is that people they don't have the guts to accost them, because the security, we have a system that seems to protect you as long as you escape the poverty measure, the poverty line. They used to do this thing we call esprit de corps. Even politicians have esprit de corps with most of these security agencies. You have arrested, you just arrest my own boy. You didn't arrest the other person's boys, and those are the things that is causing trouble.
Dr.
So we know them.
In all of this conversation, the government seems to be the deciding factor. What roles do you expect? Let's start from the local government in finding solutions to the insecurity that we currently face.
Majorly, we are supposed to rely on the local government under normal circumstances, because they are the one that is closer to people, and they know each other. It's a smaller factor. It's a kind of cell where you know each other. You know the person living in this town, the next town. All of you know each other. It's not the state governor that is somewhere that we don't even know what is happening in his own headquarters. Does not know people. So we are supposed to concentrate basically on local government for security, and that's why some of us have been calling for community police all this time. But they refuse to give us what we deserve, what will have curbed all this insecurity in Nigeria. But unfortunately, even the local governments will not be allowed to do election activities. They are not. They are there. They are just there. They are not people's choice, and they are all maneuvering of politicians. And if you ask them, you give governors money. You call it security vote. What are they doing with it? The worst, the best they will do. The ones they tell you they are buying cars, and they bring all the televisions and the radios of this world to show you that they are doing something. But the main money is not being used to secure the world. And we're not asking questions. We're just looking at them as if they are doing the right thing. And that is exactly why we are calling for the accountability for the security vote. We must all this believe that they don't need to account for it. We not surface.
Well, these governors have currently come out to say that we try, but these people never listen to us.
No, you have not done anything. If you have not, your result is not there. Look, see, policemen are not happy. We are just seeing them. They are not happy doing whatever they are doing. Those people that died the other time, they have been left to follow VIPs, and the enemy of VIPs are killing them. And when TV and police radio stations are reporting matter, you will only report the escape of the VIP, and you will not mention the name of the police officers that died. No honor for them, no insurance, no honor for them, nothing for their family. Their interest is not taken care of. All these policemen you are seeing on the street, they are highly demoralized, demotivated. They are not happy with what they are doing. They are just doing it because they don't have another job to do. Nigerians should think about the welfare of Nigerian police force, men, so that they will know. They saw the way you treated their colleague that died on duty, that you don't care. Everybody wants honor. If they die and you don't honor them, they will just carry the gun and follow you.
So it's safe to say, according
some of them even had issues. They had injuries during election and nothing during on duty, and they will be the one to treat themselves. I am telling you what is happening in the police force.
So it's safe to say that as a country in Nigeria, we've not taken full ownership of our fighting forces.
And we expect the best from them. How can you? We used to say garbage in, garbage out. What are you garbaging into their lives? And so that you can have the moral right to demand from them. These people are not happy people. Their salaries are not taking them anywhere. Their welfare is not taken care of. And they say they have police, Ministry of Police Affairs. What is the ministry doing? Nothing. Making themselves rich and their cronies. And we are not talking. And government is not investigating this matter. Is it that the police force in Nigeria is too much? The policemen in Nigeria are too much for military to handle and ensure that they are all in proper shape, psychologically, physically, and mentally. They are not happy. That's why you have all these killings happening. That's why you have them. They are venting their anger on the people on the street. I'm not saying that they are correct or they are right, but what I'm saying is that they are not even happy to do INEC job, because if anything happens to them, are they insured? Is their family going to be taken care of? So we are left with the choice of when criminals decide to strike, and then the governors and the president already have a statement to make. We assure you it will not happen again.
Well, just in case you just joined us, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we bring you in-depth analysis of some of the stories from the week. And right now we're talking the coming elections and insecurity, how they intertwine. Stay with us as we go on a quick timeout.
Abubakar knows Nigeria, understands the people, and knows how to get Nigeria back on the road to growth. His capacity to navigate numerous industries towards growth and expansion is tested and trusted. No one needs to show Atiku Abubakar how to move Nigeria forward through challenges and onto greatness. He already has a sure plan, a strategist in entrepreneur and job creator. Atiku Abubakar knows Nigeria, knows our people, and knows the world. Atiku for sure.
PDP! Power to the people!
Sponsored by the Atiku Okowa Organizing for Action.
Please listen to this announcement. This is to inform all applicants, particularly NYSC members, serving and ex-corpers, students of tertiary institutions, and staff of MDAs who apply to serve as presiding officers and assistant presiding officers that they are to report to the various electoral officers for screening in the local government areas where they intend to serve in the 2023 general elections. They are to come along with the following information. For serving corps members, call-up letter and NYSC ID. For students, tertiary school ID and letter of admission. For staff of MDAs, appointment letter from current employer and past promotion letters. For ex-corps members, NYSC discharge certificate. The screening is scheduled for Tuesday, 17th to Friday, 20th January 2023. Announcer Abdulkadir Bolaji Ibrahim, Public Affairs Officer, INEC, Kwara, for the Honorable Reg, Kwara.
My name is Femi Adebayo. Keep listening to Diamond FM 88.7.
32 minutes after 9, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show. My name is Mekamua Osigbodi. And with me in the studio today are two special guests today. With me is Dr. David Ayindero, who is an educationist, a public affairs analyst, and the lead strategist for NIWOSEC. And also in the studio is the head of unit Public Affairs and Protocol, INEC Kwara, Mr. Abdulkadir Bolaji Ibrahim. Once again, it's great to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
All right. Earlier on, we played an announcement from INEC about the collection of PVC. Now, in all of this conversation about having a free and fair and successful election in a few weeks, right, we have various stakeholders, and we've talked about the part of the security agencies, we've talked about the part of INEC. Now, let's talk about the part of the citizens. Mr. Abdulkadir, how has been the response of citizens in collecting their PVCs?
Tremendous. I must give kudos to our CSO. And also the NAOSEC chairman. Because recently we met at the Federal Secretariat and he promised us that he will enter offices to persuade people to come out for their PVC. And then the turnout was very, very low. But now, when you look at the collection of PVC in Kwara, it has improved tremendously. One, because at first we distribute the card at our local government offices. But on the 6th of January, so we decentralize it. We have to move the PVC to the ward level. So we call on the people to come to the ward level to pick up their PVC. Then when we are at the office, people like this. Collection was around maybe 30, 15 daily. But now at the field, now people like in a day, in the local government, we will issue like 300, 200 PVC. So people are coming out to pick up their PVC.
Now, are there informations that people need to know about collecting their PVCs? I mean, recently INEC extended the collection date to 29th of this month, January. So are there any other information that are important for citizens to know?
On Saturday, we move around 3 local governments in Kwara State, that's Ilorin West, East, and South. And I discovered that most citizens doesn't know the value or the power of this PVC. One, the reason why is because in a market, I met a woman who brought out her PVC. That can she use the PVC? The PVC at the face and this. I said, when we are doing the CVR, we should have come forward so that we can replace the PVC for you. But that PVC does not expire. She can still use the PVC. Yeah. So, but I advise her to keep the PVC, not to be bringing it to the market always. Even if possible, she can keep the PVC where she kept her money. in a bank because the power of that PVC. Then a Marua rider also came to me and told me that I collected my PVC last month, but I lost it. Can I go and vote on the day of election? No, you can't. So if you don't have PVC, don't even go near the polling unit.
That's the actual card, not the temporary slip.
Not the temporary slip. The actual card, that permanent voter's card, not the temporary. So if you have it, go into your polling unit and vote. And the one you have in 2011 does not expire. Then I met a Wula seller, that's a cap seller also. At the market, that's my experience. So he now said, what's the essence? If we collect it, we just elect them. The next day, we will not see them again. I said, you will not see them again? Then you the same PVC to call them back. He said, that's right. I said, what did I mean? I said, you use the PVC to call them back. That's right. He said, what did I mean by calling them? I said, if you don't want them to spend 4 years, and you send them somewhere and they did not do what you asked them to do, it's the same PVC you will use in calling them. And I have to explain the procedure to him. You write that you want to you want to call back your representative. That's right. By the time you write, they will notify INEC. Then we will organize what we call referendum, just like election. You people queue up with your PVC with our register. How many numbers of you want the so person to be called back? Then, but if you have the number, we call the person back. Then you have a fresh election. Say, in fact, I've never heard of this before. That's fantastic. I said, keep telling people. That's good. So that's another importance of PVC. That's good.
Right now, Dr. David, let me throw this quick question just before we go into the next conversation for today. Now, he made the point he made just now. I know a lot of people do not know that they could exercise that right as citizens who have PVCs. What steps do we take to educate more people about things like this and more?
Yes, I'm happy with what my colleague has just said. It's one of those things that our organization took up to assist them, and they were there. We call it Tomb Right. That's the project we inaugurated at the Federal Secretariat, and we started doing it till now. So I was doing it recently, and I got to a place where somebody said, that they will not come, that I can that they are still doing that kind of thing. And I said, well, I can also sell my own PVC. But I said, but anybody that wants to buy my own PVC for the next 4 years must pay 500 million naira. I said, I'm ready to give out my PVC for 500 million naira. He now said, what happened? I said, so any politician that can give 500 million naira to every Nigerian that want to sell their PVC can buy it. And it's even worth more than that. Nigerians don't really know the worth of their PVC. And I try to tell them, this is democracy, government of the people, by the people and for the people. We cannot determine if the government is going to be for you, if it's not by you. So the power to exercise the part that said by the people is what we are now doing. This election, this PVC, is what we tell you, this government is by me. And you can also use this same PVC to return their power and even remove them anytime you want to. I try to educate them just like my colleague from INEC has said. These are the education that we need to really give Nigerians. And I suspect politicians that they don't want Nigerians to be educated. That's why they are so lackadaisical about education in Nigeria. They don't want Nigerians to be educated. They don't want Nigerians to be rich. It's possible for all Nigerians to be rich, and they will all be living happy. Happiest people, as they said. So that when you are not rich, you will depend on them you keep depending on them for small money. You are vulnerable to all that. If you are not educated, properly educated, you won't be able to know all these things. The responsibility lies on INEC to keep educating just like he has done. Or a non-governmental organization like ours should not stop. We should keep educating people. Radio stations like this have been doing so wonderfully well, educating people. Anytime you listen to Diamond, before you know it, they will bring up issues to educate people on electoral activities. So Nigerians should know the power that PVC worth. I love what he said again. You can even put it where you put your money. And I said this somewhere sometimes ago, that anytime that government agencies, police and military forces should secure our PVC the way the headquarters the way they are securing the central bank, is more valuable than even central bank. That this is the thing that we use to guarantee the future of Nigerians. And like people listening now should know that this PVC is too powerful. Even INEC is underutilizing the PVC. Politicians that are representative of people could come to INEC intermittently from time to time. Ask INEC, please. INEC office should be like bank. They should come and ask INEC, please, I want to know the opinion of my people on this policy. The government say we should vote this day. I want to know if my constituency wants to vote for or against. You throw it to your constituency and the INEC should be able to use that same PVC for people to vote for opinions. We can use it for opinion purposes, Right. And the INEC's job is not supposed to be routine every 4 years before they begin their electoral cycle. It should be an everyday event, an everyday thing. INEC staff should be treated like NNPC. The way they are giving NNPC people, I know he's happy. I know my friend is happy. Right. They should give them the kind of money you give to NNPC and central bank workers. All right. Because they are holding the life of Nigerians, right. The destiny of Nigeria. So government should, they are utilizing INEC facilities, and it should be a consistent thing. And you can use your PVC to withdraw any rep that has gone to Abuja to begin to sleep in hotels without attending sessions. All right, now quickly, just before we go into the next conversation for today, let's hear your thoughts.
Thank you, man. I like what Doctor said. He has already praised INEC, but it's not that it's just praised INEC. That is how it is. Because recently, a place that we normally kept some of our sensitive material, that's the Central Bank. Somebody was telling me that the way they handle INEC material is even more powerful the way they handle money in CBN. Do you get what I'm saying? Right. That anytime they receive INEC material, they carry it like a newborn baby. That they don't touch the material. This is Nigeria. I was like, wow, really? Is that how you handle our material in your say? That's how we handle it too. You don't just tamper with us. So these are the PVC, the ballot paper, and all that. So people should value the PVC very much.
All right, thank you so much. Now we dive straight into the last and final story for today. But bear in mind that we're live on Facebook, Diamond 887 FM. Be sure to be a part of the conversation by dropping a comment on the comment section and Diamond FM Ilorin. You could also send a message via the WhatsApp platform 0913-655-6864. For the final story for today, still bordering on the coming election. The Electoral Act looks to be a key determinant in the elections. The act, which first generated lots of controversy, now looks to be one of the successes of this present administration since the last 8 years. Poised to ensure more transparency and credibility right from party activities to the polls, INEC now has the financial independence, being one of this first advantages to script its financial plans to perfection, at least a year before the election. Now, the devices introduced like bimodal voters accreditation system, BVAS, and other sensitive materials have been tested and trusted in 2 serious elections last year, Ekiti and Osun. Now, a governor from the opposition party, Ademola Adeleke, was full of encomium on the president for signing the bill into law. Let's listen to Adeleke testify.
I'm happy to tell you that I just saw our president looking so well, looking so good, and I'm happy about that. Since my election, I feel like I should come and say hello to Mr. President and thank him for signing that electoral act, because I benefited from it. That paved way for free and fair election, and all the international community, they are applauding.
Well, that was the voice of the current governor of Osun State, thanking the president for signing the bill into law. Let me start with Dr. Eindero. How significant is the new act to the coming election?
That's a game changer. And that's why so many young people have gone to register for voting and collecting their PVC. That's why a lot of people that have not been voting before have decided to use it as this as an opportunity, because they started having trust in the election. It was a bad experience where anybody can maneuver election. The worst they would do is to go to court. In fact, the president said in Nigeria before that it's going to be a do or die affair. And we have seen a lot of people coming where courts determine who rules us, not our persons again. There are a lot of issues that came up. I was part of the process, the public hearing and all this stuff. The only area of the electoral act that politicians, and we are still bringing it back, is that area of their of a primary election, where they are supposed to allow every member of the party to vote, and they shouted it down. Because look at what happened in this primary. It's what primary election present to you that determines the quality of leaders that you have. If you have eroded some chaffs out of primary, but you can see the level of money they spent. Even the budget of states cannot handle the level of money that was spent on our primary elections. So, but it has gone, but we are still coming back with it. But every other part of the act, which is the game changer, is really working for us in Nigeria. And it has really improved the confidence of people. And so at this election, as long as the vote of people counts, don't worry. Even if you vote for somebody and if your vote counts, if you vote for wrong person, you have the power to remove the person again. And this electoral act has really given us that base.
Right.
And unfortunately, the politicians have started testing it. And I'm afraid that hope in the next 4 years, they will not use court to quash a lot of these beautiful provisions of that act. Politicians know how to use court. And you know judiciary is a very stinking system. And they are already using it because they are highly demotivated judges. And they can be maneuvered by inducement, financial inducement, because they are hungry. So, and the judiciary, executive intentionally made the judiciary to be hungry. Well, the judiciary they are the problem of their problem. So, but I believe that, I hope they will not use the courts to kill it. Even the Senate president have tested it. He has taken people to court, knowing fully well that it's no longer, he signed the provision of this INEC for God's sake. And it's now a challenging thing. He participated in one election and still running back to pick up another election. Politicians have their mindset. But this act, I thank God and I hope this act will justify all the effort we have put in place to get Nigeria to a better place.
Like you said earlier on, the new act is a game changer. On the part of INEC, Mr. Abdulkadir, how, apart from financial independence, how has this new act improved the INEC for elections?
Thank you very much. The Electoral Act was signed February 25, 2022, as amended by the Mr. President. In fact, if Nigerian Mr. President has not done anything, the signing of Electoral Act alone, we at the Commission, it's a beautiful thing. He has done a lot for us because it makes our job easier. And that Electoral Act is our Bible in INEC and is our Quran. So it's the thing that is the book that guides us. Now, he has made a lot of provision about the financial independence. Then also the introduction of technology. The electoral have said that we can use technology for election, of which we now introduce what we call beavers. That beavers have been tested, like you said, in 2 states. Apart from the 2 states, we have a council election in FCT. The same beavers was used, and we score 98% across the line anywhere we use this off-season election. Now, using of beavers, even the politicians, they were scared because politicians always look for loophole on electoral so that they can hide on it, they can use it to get their way, buy their vote and all that. But the electoral have spelled it out. Using that beavers, I was somewhere, because I always make reference, I was somewhere where they are collecting card yesterday. A guy now, they were talking. He said, I made transfer. When I made transfer of my card, I will go and use the transfer I use. I won't queue up for this one again. So I now busting. The guy was like, do you know what we are saying? I said, yes, you've already said INEC. And definitely when you mention INEC, and I'm at public place, I must talk. Right. Except if you don't want to hear me. So I will have to enlighten you. So what do you say, sir? I have made transfer now. That card, I will go and use that card. I said, no. You'll be moved to this polling unit. That place, you cannot use your card. I said, no. Is it not Nigeria? I said, what do you mean by is it not Nigeria? I said, by the time we vote now, another person will vote. I said, no, it's not possible. Now, this introduction of beavers.
Now, speaking of the introduction of technology like beavers, yes, how sensitized are the citizens on the use of this new technology?
Yes, I think you know we use it off-season, and people they know the percentage may be low now, But by the time we use it, we use it in 2 states already, and FCT. By the time we use it across the nation, they will know that yes, the beavers
have come to stay.
Have come to stay.
And so, for example, people that do not have knowledge about this, when it's time for them to vote, are there systems or structure put in place to ensure that it's easy for them to vote and use this technology?
Very easy. Very easy. Someone called me, they collected my PVC and they wrote the number down. Hope they will not disenfranchise me by writing my number down. I say, forget about it. As long as they did not cut your head and they didn't cut your hand, it's very easy. What we need is just your official and your thumb.
Like that.
You understand? So it's very easy.
All right. Finally, just before we open up the phone line so people could call in to be a part of the conversation, we're really out of time. In 30 seconds,
yes.
2019, 2015, 2013, what significant change do you see happening in the coming election?
The beavers. It has come, and technology, except they hacked the website of INEC. And I hope that, just like you said, because my mother went to do her registration, to collect her PVC, and somebody said they snapped that and they are permutating. But I'm sure with the INEC is giving, particularly INEC Ikwara, they are giving us comfort, and I hope it will come to stay.
Right, when you mentioned the fact that hacking the website of INEC, you shake his head. I'll say the INEC website is super secured.
See, let me tell you, you talk about hacking the website of INEC. What did they want to hack there? The website is not doing
put in their own figure.
No, the website is not acting. I mean, it's not doing election. What we are using is the INEC INEC result viewing portal.
Okay.
So that portal, it's mainly open for the result. And now this result, by the time you do election, we have a Form EC8 series. That EC8 series is what the result they will take to the collation center. That one is hard copy. Now the beavers will now stamp that EC8, which is the result at that polling unit. It is the picture that it will send to the INEC result viewing portal. You understand? Now we have another poster, which is also a result. At this particular polling unit, the same result will be written on that poster and pasted. It's ECC. You understand? Now we have 3 places you can access those results. Now if they hack that one, the one pasted at that polling unit is there. The one they took to the what did they call it, to collation center is there. So definitely you have different figure when they hack it. So we can make reference to this EC8 series, which will be in possession of INEC. Is hard copy.
Well, we must give credit to INEC for the structure they have put in place. Well, the number to call is 0913-655-6952. At first, we can take just one call today. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, God bless you. Good morning. I think you are your life, my name.
All right, go on.
Yeah, I give your guest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want all Nigerians to underline a particular thing in what the INEC man has just said now about a particular guy that he met and he was saying that he has transferred. Is it not Nigeria? I said it the other time I came to the breakfast show that some people might have problem not getting their PVC because of wrong inputs, and they believe that whatever they do, they have a particular PVC, and they have done another one to register in another place. So the cost of transaction and the input in the system might cause problems. So some people might want to create havoc on that day. We should underline it, that immediately you made the wrong transaction, you cannot get your PVC in another place. Don't go and create havoc on the polling unit on that particular day. God bless them.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Well, let's read the messages from Engineer Gamble, Stadium Road. Good morning, Diamond FM and guests in the studio. Thanks for this good analysis. Kudos to the great NDLEA and other enforcement agencies. They are really trying in mopping up hard drugs and criminal hideouts during election. But more needed to be done in terms of technologies like hiding cameras, drones, and very secret intelligence, also integrating good relationship with communities. More so, National Orientation Agency, NOA, needs to make more sensitization to all nooks and crannies of the country and let those hoodlums or bandits planning to disrupt election know the punishment to be melted when caught in such acts. God bless Nigeria and Nigerians. Another one says, hi, good morning. How are you doing? My polling unit is far away from where I stay. Please, how will I go about it?
You don't have a choice. You have to be there on the day of election.
Oh, well, now, can he transfer now, or that time is past already?
See, when we leave the suspension on the CVR, That'll be after election.
After elections, well, sadly. Well, Mr. Ola, you'd have to go to your polling unit and exercise your rights. Good morning in the studio. Thanks to Dr. Endera Sinilde. The problem we have in this country is that we all fail to say the truth. Imagine the question thrown to the INEC official on insurance, and he can't give straight answer. God bless Nigeria. Olani from A Division. Another one says, good morning, Dr. David and the other guests with the presenter. INEC are collecting... Okay, there's a claim that INEC are collecting huge amounts of money, even more than the NNPC. Doctor cited as an instance. INEC officials should wake up to their duties and not just collecting juicy incentives attached to the offices. Okay, I think this person got the message wrong. Now, Dr. Endera was saying they should pay INEC officials also like they do NNPC officials, not the other way around. This is Joshua Ogulabi from Sapati Ile. Sadly, we cannot take any more message or calls, but just before we wrap up, Dr. Endera, I'll start with you. Your final thoughts in 20 seconds.
Yes, my final thought is to appeal to Nigerians to let us take this opportunity. At least let us prove ourselves as Nigerians that have this interest of this country at heart. And the best way we can do that is to exercise our right as Nigerians by going out to vote. So let us collect the PVCs, encourage others, and don't sell your vote. Don't sell your PVC. Your PVC is worth more than $1 billion. God bless Nigeria.
All right, Mr. Abdulkadir.
I would have loved to give my final word on PVC, but no, I would talk my final. I will give my final word on overvoting. I will urge Nigeria that they shouldn't put pressure on the pool official on the day of election, because if you allow them, you give them a conducive environment, they can be able to work. Immediately, you have one overvoting in that particular polling unit, it's outright cancellation. So vote you made in that polling unit is of no use. So they will cancel that polling. So please give them a conducive environment to work and allow them to do their job. Don't dictate to them.
Well, as a stakeholder, ensure that you cooperate with another stakeholder, with the INEC officials. Please ensure that you exercise your right. Come out to vote, collect your PVCs, and do the right thing. A huge thank you to our guest in the studio today, Dr. David Endera, who is a public affairs analyst, the lead strategist for NIWOSEC. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. And also the head of unit public affairs and protocol INEC Kwara, Mr. Abdulkadir Balaji Ibrahim. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Such a delight to have you in the studio.
Thank you, Diamond FM, for doing a great job.
All right, that's the size of our package today on the Diamond Breakfast Show, production of the News and Current Affairs Department. A huge thank you to everyone working behind the scene. Akobi, Mr. Shegun, thank you so much. My name is Mekamua Osigbodi. Right after now is the news in our native dialect, and after that is a Baradasi. Stay with us.
What's up? This is Cassie. Hi, this is Nelly Furtado, and you're listening to my favorite
Shining Supreme.
Ladies and gentlemen.
88.7. Diamond FM.
Hey, it's Iggy Azalea.
I'm Tolo.
Where's Khalifa, man?
Cool.
Let's go.
Diamond FM, your one-step dial